Checks for launch. This is the final commit for launch. DE, DC, please verify alpha transitions to autonomous mode in T-minus 30 seconds.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Hi everybody, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Welcome again to Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Yeah, it's a little bit less chilly tonight, which is nice for me, sitting out here. But you know what? What's important, as you can see in our video here, we do have a rocket with some fuel on board, with propellant on board, looking good for a launch attempt tonight. So yeah, I think it's gonna happen. I feel good about this. So let's go, and luckily we're not working any weather issue constraints. There we are 100% go for weather. Prop loading is in progress, and we'll see how we do. So let's hop on over. We're going to, of course, as we do on the show here, anytime you guys have questions, a lot of the questions you guys ask in chat is fun. I like watching you guys talk in chat, and a lot of the questions that we get, you can have answered by going to a little website called everydayastronaut.com. And there you can click on upcoming launches, and you can read through some of our pre-launch previews. So today, of course, the pre-launch preview for this is FLTA002 To The Black. So this is going to be taking off. Here's the deal, guys. It's going to be taking off in October. So hopefully Scrubtember is over. As you guys know, there has been a whole just ridiculous amounts of scrubs throughout the month of September in the spaceflight industry, except for the Delta IV Heavy. Props to Delta IV Heavy. That thing got off the ground right away. So, but in general, it has been a month of just a lot of things. But now, this baby is looking to launch in October, which we're going to call Launchtober, because that's what I'm talking about. Taking off at October 1st, right after midnight here, local time, on the West Coast, Pacific Daylight Time, which would be 7 o'clock UTC. And there is a 2-hour launch window. So there is 2 hours. If the team is, working any issues or whatever, they have the opportunity for 2 hours to be able to reset. We saw them reset last night, and they got all the way to engine ignition last night. And then the official word is basically there was a sensor on the engine, on one of the engines, that just didn't like what it was seeing, so it triggered an automatic abort. And of course, that's to keep the rocket safe, the launch pad safe, everyone's safe. That's exactly what it's designed to do. The teams reworked the issue, and they're resetting again for today's launch attempt. So, yeah, that's of course, that's the beauty of having a really intelligent flight computer and modern electronics, is they can sense these things before anything bad happens. Of course, we didn't have early days with spaceflight. You might know there wasn't that kind of advanced electronics, but that's the awesome thing about these modern day rockets, is they can shut down and be safe before causing any harm. So that's why we're back at it today, and there's a rocket sitting here ready to go. So this is FLTA002 To The Black. The rocket, the launch provider for this is of course Firefly Aerospace, and yeah, this is hopefully you guys have been tuning in for the other attempts. I'm feeling really good about this one, so hopefully I'm not wrong. The customer for this, so this is, of course, Firefly is the launch provider, but the customer paying for it, of course, this is a demonstration mission. This is just a test flight of their Alpha rocket. So the customer for this is primarily Firefly, but there's also NASA, Teachers in Space, Libre Space Foundation, AMSAT Spain, FOSA Systems, all on board. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. They've got that many customers for a demonstration mission. Of course, we talked about that a little bit last night. It's, they typically tend to work a deal out with these payloads and basically say, hey, we're going to do a test flight. If you want to hitch a ride, I don't know, for free or whatever the situation is there, but here you go. Here's a cheap ride to space. So let's see here. Okay, so we'll keep going here. The rocket for this is the Alpha rocket. The launch location, this is Slick 2 out here in Vandenberg Space Force Base. Yes, Space Force Base, no longer an Air Force Base, it is a Space Force Base, which is, there's a lot of launch pads out here, and that makes sense. United States, the payload mass for this baby, 35 kilograms. That's much below the capability of this rocket. This is, as we've mentioned before, this is quite a large small sat launcher. For being a small sat launcher, this is a pretty good sized rocket, capable of taking over a metric ton to low Earth orbit. So 35 kilograms is definitely like at the very, very bottom of what this vehicle is capable of. But again, this is a demonstration mission. This is a test flight. They're really just hoping to get this thing into orbit. That's the goal. Or realistically, the real goal of a demonstration mission, when you're a company like this that's that's agile and can kind of move around. The real goal is just to start ticking off some of those boxes, some of those unknowns, and start demonstrating a few systems that you can't demonstrate on the ground. You know, stage separation, stage 2 ignition, payload fairing deploy, all of those things that you're like, you can work them, you know, you can work till you're blue in the face on paper, but, you know, until it's actually in the air, in space, doing stage separation for real, you know, you really just don't know. So that's what these demonstration missions are for. Start checking some of those boxes off, of course. So, yeah, where the satellite's going, they're going to end up at a 300-kilometer low Earth orbit at 137-degree inclination. So, yeah, that's, for those of you that maybe have played some Kerbal Space Program, you might know that's very unusual. It's actually a retrograde orbit. That's an orbit that's going backwards against the rotation of the Earth. So that's something very unique. I personally have never seen a rocket fly retrograde. So this will be a first for me. This will actually only be my second launch to be able to see from Vandenberg. Well, actually, it could be the first launch I get to see from Vandenberg, because in 2014, I watched the OCO2 mission, which was on a Delta II, and it was so foggy, because of course this is Vandenfog or Fogenberg or however you want to call it, that you literally couldn't see anything. So this very well could be the first one that I get to see, and it's going to be one flying retrograde. So, yeah. Will they be attempting to recover the first stage? Nope. This is this is not an option of the Alpha rocket. There's some talks about their next rocket being recoverable. So therefore, it will splash down into the Pacific Ocean. Will they attempt to recover the fairing? No. Again, that's not something that is currently done with Alpha. But the weather, again, 100% go. We'll probably update the website here. As far as I'm hearing, it's 100. So, all right. So this will be the second launch of the Alpha. The second launch, you know, of the Alpha altogether, because they launched for the first time last year. The second launch for Firefly. This is their only rocket currently flying. This is the first launch of Firefly in 2022. This is the 11th launch from Vandenberg in 2022, and the 126th orbital launch attempt of 2022. So, yeah, this is yeah, I'm feeling good. We'll see though. I hate to say, like, I don't want to say that I've got any kind of, like, what's that called? You know, that is wearing off on me, but it's definitely, you know, we've had this van out here ready to go, you know, at different launch sites, ready to see a launch, and I am just really ready to see a rocket fly. So I'm really hoping tonight's the night, and hope you guys are here to hopefully witness some some history, witness some history. So there's a handful of payloads on this rocket, and first off, the one that we want to talk about first is the Teachers in Space Serenity CubeSat. So we've got a little video here that we're actually going to queue up and show you guys that explains this payload. So, all right, let's go ahead and roll that video.
On this upcoming mission, we have 3 payloads flying with us. All of them are very experimental and heavily into research and development, and specifically about raising awareness in space.
Teachers in Space, we provide actual space opportunities for teachers to actually be embedded in preparing a rocket for launch, preparing a satellite, integrating the satellite. Firefly have given us a brilliant opportunity to launch our own first educational orbital satellite.
The idea behind Serenity was to build a carrier that we could use for student experiments. Now we're doing the ultimate test on orbit, and if it turns out to work, now we have a tool that we can put in our tool belt to help astronauts with radiation.
We're putting a blockchain experiment into space, and what we're looking for is to test how we can communicate efficiently from the Earth to a blockchain satellite, perform various types of transactions. This is the beginning of several types of experiments we want to do to test the limits of blockchains in space.
I'm looking forward to the Serenity 4, 5, and 6. I want to see what those are going to look like and what experiments the students are going to bring. We want to give them the opportunity to put that on orbit and do something amazing.
We are up and running between the teaching, the launching, and the receiving and analyzing and presenting of the data, and it's like we have our own space program for teachers.
Yeah, so that was the Teachers in Space Serenity CubeSat. So the next one that we have a little video for, too, is the NASA Tech EdSat 15. This is one that I'm pretty excited about. Actually, I think I just read somewhere, I believe the FAA is trying to make it so there is a 5-year lifespan on satellites. And this is actually a perfect, that satellites need to be able to deorbit within 5 years of their end of life, end of service, or end of mission. And so this is actually a perfect demonstration mission right here. This is a mission that's working on developing a way to be able to rapidly deorbit certain satellites, especially small sats and CubeSats. And yeah, let's go ahead and roll this video because we'll learn more about it. Here we go.
NASA's mission is to help stimulate and advance commercial space. We collaborate with our young professionals within NASA, private industry, universities, and basically use this as a cauldron to advance a lot of technologies through experiments. In this case, it's helping to supply a very quick turnaround nanosatellite to the Firefly team.
The Tech Education Satellite Series is a rapid prototype series of incremental CubeSat developments. It's a good pathfinder for new launch vehicles, which helps reduce the risk that we have for other NASA missions.
There's so much you can do with small cube satellites. I mean, we can help with climate change. We can help with climates in Mars, climates in Venus.
We're doing pathfinding efforts to enable, manufacturing and low Earth orbit.
We're really interested in taking the nanosatellite concept and moving that to the lunar environment as well as Mars.
Our primary payload actually for Tech EdSat 15 is our exoatmospheric braking device, which we like to call our ExoBrake. Our ExoBrake is made out of a material that's the same exact thermal blanketed material that was on the space shuttle, which enables us to have a certain amount of control authority in regions of our atmosphere where most other CubeSats cannot.
We're also flying solar panels that are commercial off-the-shelf units. It lowers the cost of the most critical component of our satellite.
I could actually command the satellite using email actually. When we were quarantined at home, I was actually commanding satellites in my bedroom.
I got my aerospace engineering degree from San Jose State. You're taught very practical things from the get-go that translated almost seamlessly into industry work, especially at NASA, and integrating here with Firefly.
SGSU is in a very strategic location. Being next to NASA Ames Research Center and being near Silicon Valley, we have an opportunity to work with technology that's actually cutting edge and then be able to apply that in a space environment.
My generation is involved in watching all the Apollo launches when I was a child, and I always wanted to work at NASA and teach and be part of this.
We have the job of turning science fiction into science fact.
It's an opportunity for me to also work with our younger staff and excite them. They're going to define the next generation of space and space exploration.
So I'm going to take a little break here and break from the norm. I got to say, I got fact checked here by our friend Scott Manley. He's absolutely right, saying OCO2, the mission that I did see, was actually technically retrograde because it went to sun synchronous orbit, which is something like 97 or 98 degrees retrograde. So you're absolutely right, Scott. I did actually see a retrograde orbit, but this one's flying at 137 degrees. That is very retrograde. That actually flies like way out over the ocean. So you're right. Just had to send that. That's the beauty of that's actually what I love about live chat is like I learn a lot and I get corrected live on air, and that's the beauty because I'm just a guy just up here chit-chatting. The other payloads on this rocket are the Libre Space Foundation PicoBus, the Quebec 1 and 2, and also the AMSAT-EA Genesis G Astroland 1 and Genesis J Astroland 2, as well as FOSA Systems FOSASat 1B. So yeah, if you want to read more about all these awesome payloads, remember to check out our website, everydayastronaut.com. Click on upcoming launches, and you'll even see things like the mission timeline. These are the things that we're expecting to see here today. So as you can tell, obviously we're well into LOX load, and you can tell that you can see below me here the rocket is mostly white. Despite this being a black rocket, you see a lot of white. That is the liquid oxygen being so stinking cold that it literally has a small layer of ice on the outside of the rocket now, which just from the humidity in the air. Which, trust me, there is some serious humidity in the air. It is basically borderline raining out here. But despite that, the actual weather is totally good. We're just like in a cloud. I'm living in a cloud. But yeah, that's what we can expect for the rest of this launch. If you guys want to read more and more about this, you can head on over to everydayastronaut.com, click on upcoming launches, and you'll see this article. This one was written by Florian. So please, everyone, say thank you to Florian and say thank you to our website crew who makes this stuff happen, along with the whole rest of the team. There's a whole team having to helping me make a show possible. So yeah, all right, let's pull up the big old rocket cam. I gotta just check out on this thing and look at that. So right off the top, I gotta say, people always ask about the condensation. On a night like tonight, boy, can you see condensation pouring off the rocket. That is totally normal. Again, I feel like I have to explain this over and over, but that's why we're here. We're here to help you understand what's going on and help you. I always feel like, the more you learn about the stuff, the easier it is to be excited. So what you're seeing, that's not smoke or anything. That's just condensation. Most of it is from the liquid oxygen boiling off. It actually gets too warm inside the tanks because, the ambient temperature out here in California. I did a quick in my head conversion last night, and I said it was about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think I said it was 20 degrees Celsius. It's more like 10 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it's fairly warm compared to the temperature of liquid oxygen, which is about minus 183 degrees Celsius. And as it boils off, as it turns into a gas, it expands about 1,000 times. So you will see the rocket just continuing to vent out really cold gaseous oxygen. And when that comes in contact with the air, it makes for those beautiful clouds. So that's totally normal, totally fine. So just a fun thing to kind of look at and keep in mind. Man, I love how that shot, you almost don't see the rocket because there's so much condensation around it. But yeah, that payload fairing. I love this shot. Is really fun too because when currently you can kind of see on the right side of the rocket there, that is the strong back, the thing that holds on to the rocket. And when it there's little clamp arms that are kind of holding onto it during most of the fuel up. But around T-minus 5 minutes, they actually open that arm up and then begin to recline the strong back, and that allows it for it to basically be in launch preparation, and that gives room for the umbilicals to be able to rip away as the rocket ascends. I just think that's super cool. So let's keep going here. We've got a handful of great questions from everybody. Quick reminder, of course, if you guys have good questions, as our mods caught the correction there from Scott Manley, feel free to just put them in chat, and if you ask a good question, we'll hopefully have some time to address it on air. So. And I guess even before we really start the show, I better start off again by I have to say this, and this is just from me. I swear the people at Firefly do not ask for me to say this. I need to just say thank you to Firefly for allowing us to do this. This is pretty unprecedented to be able to. We have shot. There's the teams at Firefly. Just a huge thank you to all of them for not only building and operating a rocket and getting ready to launch it here in California, but also for sharing it with us and allowing us to stream it for you guys. I mean, that is huge. This is a demonstration mission. They're definitely being extremely open about all this stuff, and it just really means a lot to me as an aerospace fan. I believe hopefully to all of you as aerospace fans to be able to just watch something like this. That's just super, super, super cool. So yeah, I just wanted to keep that in mind. Just if you want, say thank you, Firefly, for allowing us to do this, because without them, obviously, without this kind of cooperation, we would not have this ability to bring 4K video to you guys, which is something I'm really, really proud of. So, yeah, just another reminder, if you have a 4K device, a television or a monitor that's 4K, crank that setting up and enjoy, because it's pretty awesome. So you can really start to see all the little details and all of the little things on the vehicle. Pretty amazing. 2022, man. People just out there with 4K everything. So this is from Commander Sonak. We better keep it right here in this view, or maybe the other one. I hope the pointy end is up and the flamey end is down. I think it's that time. We're coming up on T-minus 40 minutes. It's as good a time as any to do a pointy end up, flamey end down check. So this is probably the perfect view. You get the full shot of the rocket, and you can definitely tell here from this vantage point, as a rocket orientation specialist myself, I'd call myself like a prosumer version of a rocket orientation specialist. I can definitely confirm, though, that from this view that the pointy end is up, and The flamey end is down. And that's another one of those things. How can you believe we have engine cams like this? That is just absolutely insane to me. Come on. That's another thing. Say thank you, Firefly, for letting us have engine cams. That is just simply crazy. All right, let's keep going here for you guys. Let's see. I did see we had, this is kind of fun. I just wanted to share this just because this cracks me up and makes me happy. And thank you to Adrian saying, O'Cairns Inn and Suites, Firefly's home base in California, here supporting. We're happy to have your family be part of our family. Go off of. So yeah, there's O'Cairns Inn and Suites is where a lot of the employees are staying, and they've been. It's just fun to see that they're cheering on their friends that they've probably grown quite accustomed to out here in Lompoc. So, by the way, I have a small, quick rant. This is unscripted as this whole thing is. This whole thing's unscripted. Is it Lompoc, or Lompoc? I hear most people locally say Lompoc, but it's they're just O's, yet you're pronouncing the O's differently. It's an O and an A and an O. I don't know. Don't get me started. I got myself started. I'm very sorry. All right, so okay, this is a good question from David Marshall. What launches on the West Coast are coming up that everyone would recommend trying to view in person? Well, a really exciting one that's coming up is this one in T-minus 40 minutes. If you're within eyesight of this launch, be sure you look out because this one is on the West Coast, ready to launch in T-minus 38 minutes and 50 seconds. But other than that, there's an upcoming, well, there's a Starlink launch on Monday here from Slick 4E. There's also, I believe in November is going to be the last Atlas launch from the West Coast. It's an end of an era that the last time the Atlas 5, last Atlas is going to launch from Vandenberg, which is, they just had the last Delta 4 launch, and now they're going to have the last Atlas 5 launch. So it's history kind of coming to an end as ULA gets ready to start launching their Vulcan rocket from here. So that would be a fun one to see just because it's history. You know, it's definitely one of those milestones that's, yeah, just sort of, yeah, I mean, it means it's progress, but, you know, for me, I never did get to see, I never saw Delta 4 Heavy from here. I really wish it would have timed out that I was here when it launched, but here we are. Yeah, there's a handful. You know, spaceflightnow.com has a great list. Our website also, upcoming launches, everydayastronaut.com. You can see upcoming launches and see which ones are from Vandenberg. But yeah, those would be ones that I would say, depending on your time frame, but the Atlas 5 launch would be hard to beat. So, all right, let's keep going here. Okay, this is a great question from Sorish. Why was there a green flame yesterday at the time of engine ignition? That is fantastic. That's a pyrophoric fluid called TTEB, triethyl aluminum triethyl borane. And what it is they basically will flow that into the combustion chamber along with the liquid oxygen. Because it's pyrophoric, it means when it comes in contact with oxygen, it will spontaneously combust. It's kind of like, maybe you've heard of hypergolic fuels, and that's when the fuel and the oxidizer will come in contact, they'll combust. And some rockets use that as their entire fuel. A lot of rockets from the Soviet Union ran on hypergolic fuels, and a lot of in-space systems will use hypergolic fuels, but this is a pyrophoric, so it's kind of similar, but they just use it at startup to get a nice clean, get the engine going and all that stuff. And then once there's stable, once there's a constant flame, they start flowing fuel in, so the fuel has a an ignition source already, and they'll have a nice clean startup. So that is totally normal to see the green flash at the beginning of engine ignition. You'll actually notice that as well on the Falcon 9, when the Falcon 9 takes off and when the Falcon 9 relights its engines, like coming in for a re-entry or a landing burn, you will notice that green flash as well. That is that same thing, the TTEB, triethyl aluminum triethyl borane. Yeah, got to just say thank you so much to Brock86. I appreciate that. We're trying our best out here to just, keep up the spirits as it is getting chilly again tonight, but it's not too bad. But I appreciate it. We're having fun out here, though. We're making the best use of our time in between these launch attempts. Not a bad place to be. We're out here underneath the an old NASA hangar. Pretty cool place to be. It's really cool history out here at Vandenberg. I feel like there's so much. Like we mentioned, the rocket that we're seeing on the pad right now is on Slick 2, which was where the Delta 2 was taking off before this. And now, Firefly came through and they if you would have seen what the launch pad used to look like with Delta II compared to this is very stripped down, very, very, very clean. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, but the fun thing to remember too is Vandenberg just has a ton of history. You know, we talked about the space shuttle having the opportunity to. They were working on Slick 6, where the Delta IV Heavy just took off the other day. That was going to be they were trying to launch it from Vandenberg at one point until the Challenger disaster, unfortunately, kind of totally shifted the entire space shuttle program. But there's a lot of history out here, and actually we probably should roll a little video here. There's the Space Launch Delta 30 did give us a little video talking about some of the support that they do out here, because they provide the range clearance and the tracking cameras and a lot of support out here, and it's just been awesome to be on base. So let's roll that video.
Vandenberg Space Force Base's top priority is to assure access to space and safety for all of our launch partners, including Firefly.
The mission of Firefly is to make space for everybody. And what that means is to allow access to space for even the smaller payloads. We're here at Slick 2 getting ready for our second flight of the Alpha vehicle. We're very excited about it. It's really been great working with the range and the base on safety, flight safety, public safety, pretty much all aspects, getting ready for a mission.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it was fun too, because we actually get to see some of the feeds from the tracking cameras, and they're infrared cameras, so they can see. You know, right now we do have a pretty major marine layer. See, here's one of the tracking cameras here. What's awesome is we were seeing the tracking cam guys earlier, or people who are in charge of the tracking cameras. They were actually looking at the moon through the clouds. It was unbelievable. They were tracking the moon, and not only was it smooth, but you could see straight through the clouds and really great detail. I know it doesn't look like a ton here because it is infrared, but when this thing lights up, we'll be able to see straight through the clouds because of these infrared cameras. So that's pretty darn awesome. I'm not sure we're going to see much here from our vantage point, which gives us a perfect question here from Orion asking, Tim, how far are you from the launch site? So we're about 7 miles, a little over 11 kilometers away from the launch pad here. Yeah, again, outside of an old NASA hangar, not a bad place to be. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but there's a little bit of a mountain in between us and where the launch pad is. The main thing is we had to be out here just to be able to, you know, tie into the NASA building for the fiber optic lines and all of the things to support the show here. But we should have yesterday when they did the engine ignition before the automatic abort, we could hear it. We could easily hear it, actually. It was quite a decent little rumble. So, yeah, I'm really excited, because that definitely means when this thing lifts off here, hopefully in 32 minutes and 10 seconds, that hopefully, you know, we'll easily be able to hear it. And another fun milestone to look forward to, guys, we are only about 12 minutes away from the go, no-go poll, so that should help us understand for sure where the teams are at and if they're working any issues, and hopefully we just hear a bunch of goes across the board, all green, and yeah, it should be pretty awesome. So, yeah, I got to thank Vanguard here, celebrating 18 months of membership, saying Launchtoberfest. Now, that's what I can get behind. And again, remember, right now, at this exact moment, it is September, but the good news is the T0 is going to be taking place just after midnight, getting us firmly into October by a full, solid minute. And that's what I'm talking about. All right. Also, thank you, Zaria, for the tip. That's much appreciated. So, let's see here. This is a good question from Musical Wolves, our friend Musical Wolves. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always fun to see Musical Wolves in chat. What happens to the fairings? Do they splash down and sink since they aren't recovering, or do they burn up in re-entry? So most likely the fairings, which is the nose cone of the rocket, that's what, you know, encapsulates the payload. So inside that nose cone is the payload. One of the biggest reasons for these fairings is literally just to protect the payload from the extreme aerodynamic forces. You know, imagine if you had like a sensitive payload on the front of like a fighter jet going through the atmosphere. Now imagine going even faster in the amount of pressure that's, you know, would be put on that payload. So they encapsulate it in a nice aerodynamic nose cone. And then once it's in space, obviously there's no more atmospheric pressure. There's no more any of that. So they just peel away the fairing, and then they'll continue off into space, and that not only frees up weight, but it also then exposes the payload to be able to be deployed once it's the proper time. So yeah, the payload, and I don't think most payload fairings, even, you know, because obviously SpaceX has figured out a way to recover them, and they actually have little cold gas thrusters to help steer and orient them to be able to, you know, maintain proper orientation through reentry. But the big thing about payload fairings is their surface area is so big and their mass is so light that they generally will slow down a lot in the upper atmosphere, and there's a really good chance that they can come down relatively intact. But if they're not made to float, you know, they'll likely just sink to the bottom of the ocean. So I'm not sure. I can't say like if they'll burn up or if they'll break up or what will happen to them. But they are so lightweight. Kind of think of a classic like feather versus dropping a feather versus dropping a pencil. You know, you'll see one's a lot more dense, has lower surface area, and the payload fairing itself is lightweight, big surface area. So it should survive the reentry because it is coming in pretty. You know, it's coming in. It's actually going to go a little bit higher, a little bit faster than the first stage because payload the fairings separate after stage SEP. So, all right. Let's see. This is a good question here from Johnny, and thank you so much for the generous donation. Great work, everyone. Keep it pointy end up. Do you or anyone know about ice buildup on the rockets? Ice thickness and weight? How much shakes off during ascent? Just wondering. So I think it's relatively thin. I don't know any. You know, I've never heard specifications on like exactly how much weight or how much mass it adds to have that little layer of ice. It's probably not that much. You know, you can still pretty much see through it. We can actually still see the Firefly logo underneath it on the first stage. So you can see there the first stage, if you see the little A at the bottom of the rocket. By the way, I should point this out. Those are part of the engine covers and stuff like that down near the thrust section. And or maybe that might not be the actual engine covers. Those might just be anyway, it says A, L, P, H, and then if you keep going, A again. So it actually spells out alpha on all four corners. 5 letters, but only 4 corners. Pretty darn cool. I think, see, there's the L. Yeah, I don't know if the other one will show it too much, but yeah, it actually spells out alpha. Yeah, there's H, so P is behind the transporter erector. That's pretty cool. We can almost read it all the way there, just straight from our camera views. So yeah, so that's, what was I saying? Ice, yeah, okay. So from the A, you'll see that the rocket is black. That's because that's where the RP-1, the fuel, is held in that tank there. But then the first stage actually keeps going all the way through that white, and that white is the liquid oxygen tank. So that's why, you know, liquid oxygen extremely, extremely cold. It's sitting in there so cold that the atmosphere here, the humidity in the atmosphere, you know, I can literally, I don't know if you can see, but like it is damp. So obviously if this was, imagine if you had like a piece of dry ice underneath this aluminum table here that I'm sitting at, I would form an ice layer as well. So that's the exact same thing we're seeing on the rocket. Now this rocket is carbon composite with a thin layer of cork, and then it is painted black. I did not realize that when we were on air last time, or 2 weeks ago for the first set of launch attempts. I thought, for some reason, you know, when I saw it in the factory, it was still completely bare carbon fiber. There is no liner, so the inside of the rocket and the primary structure is 100% carbon composite. It is the largest carbon composite rocket that has flown, and liquid-fueled rocket that has flown. And yeah, then it's got that cork layer just on the outside of it, and that's painted, so it probably has some decent amount. Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. I'll keep answering some of your guys' questions. Oh, we got a from Yevis Lacombe saying shout out to his buddy Pete at Firefly Mission Control. Good luck. That is awesome. So cool. I mean, I love that. Hopefully Pete's in there on camera. That's so cool. Ricky, I don't know if these emojis will show up on air, but there's a bunch of pumpkins. Why do they launch between 12 and 2? I think the biggest thing is, you know, they have to work with the range here to be able to, you know, clear the airspace, clear the ground. And I think with the demonstration, with a test flight like this, it's easy to get, you know, I'll say easy in quotes. It is relatively easy to be able to get a launch opportunity in the middle of the night, basically, from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. here local. There's just not a lot of air traffic. It's just easier for them to clear that out. So I think that's probably one of the biggest considerations, is just simply range availability. Is there other conflicts with other launches? Are there conflicts with, spacecraft and all that stuff. They have to take all that stuff into consideration, and I guess it's just relatively a nice, easy time to do it. So let's see. This is a good question from Space Cowboy. I'm not entirely sure. It's likely, if I remember right, I actually think their old CEO, Tom Marcusic, we did see the payload. I did an interview with him last year at their Briggs site outside of Austin, Texas. I'm pretty sure it's carbon composite and then aluminum honeycomb, like a little layer of like kind of almost like a grid of aluminum in between layers of carbon composite. I don't recall for sure, though. That is very common for payload fairings to do something like that because it's extremely maintains good rigidity and extremely lightweight. But I can't recall off the top of my head if that's exactly what they use, but it's likely some form of carbon composite if not. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and answer this one again, Kevin. I did answer it on air. Hopefully you didn't hear it, but I just wanted to address what happened when the previous attempt, when the engine started, and then it all shut down. So it was an automatic abort that was triggered by one of the engines. So one of the engines had a sensor that didn't exactly love what it was seeing, and then the computer's smart enough to go, all right, boop, and safely shuts all the engines down and gets the rocket into a safe configuration. So that's something that's, again, a testament to, the safety protocols and all the built-in features. And again, modern rockets like this just have computers up the wazoo that can handle all of these layers of sensors and data streams coming through like crazy. So it's amazing that they can fire up the engines and have them shut down and everything maintained safe. Because here we are just 24 hours later, and they got a fully fueled rocket looking good and looking like it's ready to go for launch. So testament to the engineering and the software that was able to make it so there wasn't an issue and that they're able to proceed today. So very, very cool. All right, so let's see here. Thank you very much from Bob the Turtle. I appreciate that. 19 months of membership. Very much appreciate that. This is awesome from Gabe. Fun little... my name's actually Tim. But I thank you. This is from an employee being there. They are a proud bunch, as they should be. Honestly, the just out here talking with the teams, I've got to know a handful of the engineers and the people actually building these rockets. It's pretty amazing. And honestly, the culture of the company's very relaxed, and everyone's it's just fun to see how people work, and seeing people just literally like problem solve on the fly. Especially for us, we had to work a lot with the networking team and the teams, Jeffrey and his team, and all the people in the tech helping us be able to actually set up this live stream. And the solutions are just like, boundless. Just cool, I got something, and they just like show up 3 minutes later with the solution. I just love working with people like that. So yeah, big shout out to everyone at Firefly and the teams at Firefly for just allowing all this stuff to happen and allowing us to be here. It really, really means a lot. So, yeah, and I should mention again, Firefly doesn't ask me to say this, but I feel like it's just kind of the right thing to do. I would definitely recommend going to their website, firefly.com, and look at their careers page as well, or look at their. If you are looking for a job, I think it's they're an awesome company to work for. If you happen to live near Austin or want to live near Austin or be out here in Lompoc. There's definitely a great group of people out here. This is their website, though. It's not Everyday Astronaut. This is firefly.com. I did want to point this out. This is an awesome little bit on their Alpha rocket. You can click here. You can actually see some of the inside of this vehicle. It is fun to remember that their second stage engine is still turbopump fed. The first stage runs on 4 Reavers. The upper stage of this is a Lightning engine, which is basically like a smaller version of the Reaver. So it's still utilizes that tap-off cycle, which is something that has never been flown on an orbital rocket. So Firefly was the first to attempt it last year, and hopefully tonight they might be the first ones to put a tap-off cycle rocket, tap-off powered cycle rocket, tap-off cycle powered rocket, there we go, into orbit. Something that I am a big fan of. This is one of those engine cycle types I'm like, why isn't this more common? I just think it's such a cool idea. So if you have questions about that, be sure and watch my video, How Do You Power a Rocket Engine? We go through all the cycle types, from pressure-fed to open cycle to closed cycle. Yeah. And just a fun little reminder here, guys. We're coming up on the terminal go, no-go poll here in about a minute. Once we get the okay and we start hearing it in comms, we'll be able to bring it up for you guys so you guys can hear the actual go, no-go poll here very shortly. So let's see. This is I'll answer one more. Well, I better order a quick one. Let's see here. This is very true here. James, the engine cam will be crispy afterwards. Question mark? Answer, yes. Yes, it will. I think the teams last night had to even kind of clean up that camera. There's actually, it's in a housing. You can tell now it's nice and shiny, looking good. But after the engine ignition, if I remember it, there's actually a decent amount of, you know, like, I don't know about pitting per se, but even some soot and things like that, some of the exhaust residue on the lens, and they cleaned it up this morning. So, all right, here we go for the terminal count, the go, no-go poll.
The countdown net with a ready report for terminal count. RC.
Go.
FSW.
Go.
GSW.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Go.
Structures.
Go.
ABI.
Go.
FTS.
Go.
GC.
Go.
VC.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
MA.
Go.
MECO.
Go.
ROC.
Go.
FISPO.
Go.
OSM. LWO. CE.
Go.
LD. Go. We are go for terminal count. Circling back, 12.10.
Yes.
VC, please confirm
you hear that? You got that,
high
Ryan.
auto engage auto sequence is completed.
Wow. All right. You guys heard it there. We'll be able to bring back the mission control audio here shortly in about 9 minutes or so. Around T-minus 10 minutes, we'll be able to bring you guys back that audio. But for now, as you heard over the nets, we are go for launch. Yes, that is awesome. Launch Director Megan Roth giving us the go for launch. This is great news, guys. We are coming up on T-minus 18 minutes, 45 seconds. Ryan, how you feeling? Sweet. We got a good from Ryan. We got a good from Ryan. We got a good from me. Ryan, give a wave to the camera. You can see us out here. Then, of course, we have Allie and Colin inside of Luna there helping, not helping, running the show. They are 100% running the show. So, yeah, we are ready, guys. I feel, yeah, let's get back to that rocket because we are coming up here. So, I'm feeling good. All right, let's keep answering some questions here. This is great news from Scott Manley. We do have confirmation even from Scott Manley on he concurs that in his opinion the pointy end is up and the flaming end is down. That is great. That was quick punching. Pointy end up and flaming end down. Great news. Thank you so much, Scott, for concurring. It's much appreciated. Much appreciated. So this is a good question here from Curtis. Was it ever considered to add more payload weight to get closer to what Alpha is capable of, similar to how SpaceX put payload simulators on Starship tests? So the thing is, you really, for your first go, when this is a demonstration mission, this is just simply a test flight, you really don't want to push your vehicle to the limits. It's nice to have some margin of error. Let's say, during a certain portion, they might even be able to shut down one of the 4 engines later on in the first stage burn and actually still get to their, target destination and get into orbit. Or the second stage maybe could underperform slightly if you have a lot of margin. So for your first mission, you really just take it easy. Don't push it to the limits yet. Just take it easy and then slowly ramp into that. Validate your systems. For now, again, today, the teams are really just simply hoping to check off a few of those items that are just unknown, that you just really can't test on the ground. That is today's objective. Of course, they're trying to get to orbit. That would be monumental. It would make them on a very, very short list of private companies that will have achieved orbit with a rocket, with an entirely self-funded or privately funded liquid-fueled rocket. It's a very short list. So, that would be amazing if they reach orbit tonight. Checking away at some of that checklist. If they get to stage separation, that'd be amazing. If they get second stage engine ignition, that'd be amazing. Payload fairing separation, that'd be awesome. If they get even to their initial parking orbit of 185 by 300, it's it's an elliptical orbit at first. That would be huge. That would be like, I would break out the champagne for that personally. And then if they get to their 3, they have to actually do an engine relight. They're trying to do an engine relight just to demonstrate as much of the vehicle as they can on this second try ever. So if they actually were to circularize their orbit at a 300 by 300 as they're targeting, that would be 2 bottles of champagne, not for me, but just 2 bottles, you know, for all of us, I guess. I don't know. That would be incredible. That would definitely be like the ultimate. So, you know, our fingers are crossed here for the teams. I'm feeling really good about this rocket, though, and there's a friendly reminder to those of you in chat, you know, we're here as Team Space just to cheer for this company. We're absolutely honored to be here and to be able to witness this in person, and then to be able to share it with you guys at this kind of quality. Huge honor for us. So just keep that in mind, to just keep a positive attitude. The teams see all this, they read this stuff, so just send them well wishes and good luck. And, you know, we're actually here to hopefully witness history. You know, this I'm cheering not only for the rocket, I'm cheering for the tap-off cycle, because it's time. It is time for that. Let's see here. This is from Alexander Ash. Awesome. About to get your Falcon Models Founders Edition. Literally every launch you've done in Luna Van has been a scrub, so let's have a go for today. We're well aware. The funniest thing is I'm trying to make a second video about about what's going on with Luna, you know, because we did the first part video about the build of Luna, and then it's like, all right, part 2 will be, you know, using Luna and to see a rocket launch. And so far, we have had pretty bad luck between weather, you know, out there at Artemis, SLS. We kind of, unfortunately, for a couple days, kind of just watched a rocket leak a couple times. But, you know, new rockets like this, it should be expected. We were chasing some pretty breaking edge, you know, brand new rockets that have never, you know, this is the second flight of this rocket. And as we mentioned, this one has really not been, you know, they haven't had to do much testing because it's just gone so smoothly compared to their first rocket. The teams told me that they had fueled the first one up 18 times before they were able to get engine ignition out at Briggs. All 4 engines to ignite and do their first like static fire engine ignition with their first rocket. And this one, they said that happened on the first try. So this is just a lot fresher rocket. I feel like it's just in a good place. I just really hope the stars all align tonight and we get it going. So it's going to be awesome. Let's see. This is from Kev B. Do you have general tips for an average person who wants to fly somewhere and watch a rocket launch in person? I think my biggest advice would definitely be targeting Florida. I think Florida would be the place to go. Vandenberg has a handful out here, but there's 2. Well, first off, it doesn't fly as often as Florida, and when it does, like tonight, there's always a chance it's going to be pretty foggy out here. There's a reason that they built a top secret at the time, you know, as an Air Force base with a handful of ICBMs, because there's a lot of fog here, and it was easy to obscure a lot of the activities here from satellites. So this is generally quite a foggy area. It's not as easy to catch a rocket launch with clear line of sight and clear weather. You can kind of see the condensation and the dew and the drips there on our camera lenses as well. It's just, that's normal for Vandenberg. But Florida, on the other hand, they're launching like at least once a week in Florida, it feels like these days. It's ridiculous. If you go to Florida, hang out for a solid week, real good chance you're going to catch a launch, you know, especially these days, like something routine like a Falcon 9 launching Starlink. Yeah, playing around it. Make sure my biggest tip for any rocket lover, if you're trying to go see a rocket, and let's see you have a week of time, then you know, that start your vacation basically with the rocket launch at the very beginning of it. Don't try to book it where you're out in Florida for a whole week. You go to Disneyland or the world, and you do all these things, and then you hope to catch the rocket. You want to plan for it, so it's better to be, you know, having it so you have the opportunity to catch it, you know, if you're there for a full week or something. That's my advice. I am working at some point. We actually probably need to reshoot a handful of it, Ryan, the tour of Starbase, because we based a lot of it on what's that one road called? Remedios, and that is that officially closed, or it's coming up on being closed? Yeah, so we did a little tour of how to visit Starbase, Texas, and we talk about how you can just stand right here, and we're just hanging out on Remedios Road, but that's in the process of being closed down. So, yeah. Here's from Scott Manley saying Lompoc. I don't know. I hear a lot of people say Lompoc, but definitely poke, not pock. I don't hear pock. Let's see here. This is really cool to see. This is from DJ Red Rover saying, I must say it's because of myself and Scott Manley that you're starting a new position as an avionics engineer really soon. Thank you both for making me fall in love with space and rockets. That's so cool. I mean, that's the thing out here. The teams that I talked to, so many people just recently in the last couple, 2, 3, 4 years started paying attention to spaceflight and got interested. Now they're working on putting a rocket into space. Like, that is actually a thing you can do. You know, if you're interested in this stuff, pursue a degree in aerospace engineering, or these days, especially if you are someone that tinkers. I mean, you know, go if you get a degree in, you know, or have experience working on, you know, on jetliners or airplanes or cars. You know, a lot of people come from the auto industry that are, you know, a lot of the machining and a lot of the things are similar there. So, yeah, if you're interested in this stuff and you have a skill like that, you have a trade, definitely check out the careers page. Especially, like, you know, like I said, Firefly, I'm a little bit, you know, biased. I'm quite a big fan of their transparency and the fact that they're allowing us to be here right now. Like, that's huge. So I'm pretty big fan of them. But, you know, yeah, definitely poke around. There's people are hiring like crazy. It's definitely like the new industry. So the cool thing is we are actually able to pull up, I believe, audio again from Mission Control, and hopefully we'll hear the next T-minus 10 minutes going in here. So I'll keep answering another question from Alex Kaplan. At some point, I got to get you guys, I should have probably pre-pulled it up, but everydayastronaut.com, they're just on YouTube, search how to, don't do it right now because we're only 9 minutes away from seeing this baby hopefully fly tonight. But go ahead and search how to power a rocket engine. I have a whole video about the different power cycle types. This is the tap-off combustion cycle, and no orbital rocket has utilized it successfully to get to space. Oh. Okay, I missed what that one said. Awesome, this is all good. Let's keep going here.
T-minus 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right, just giving the call-outs. I'm probably going to be a little more quiet in the last T-minus 10 minutes.
T-minus 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Fuel pre-press will begin shortly.
So fuel pre-press, that basically means they're getting ready to pressurize the fuel and the oxidizer tanks to flight pressures. So they'll basically just use helium that are stored in separate bottles inside the rocket. They'll release some of it that's stored in really high pressure, release it, and that actually will pressurize the tanks up to flight pressures.
Alarm.
In work.
T-minus 8 minutes.
Quick shout out to Elaine and Jake Crafton for becoming members. Thank you so much, guys. That really, really means a lot.
T-minus 7:30.
Just got confirmation here that we have our cameras rolling at the pad, recording in high speed. We've got all of the cameras that you see are recording in 4K 60. And then Ryan has a handful of other cameras recording in even higher frame rates. So hopefully, you know, this shot's going to be one that I can't wait to see. The shot we're on right now, you can kind of see the yellow railing that goes across on the lower section.
7 minutes. We will have S2 TVC wiggles.
So right now they're actually doing the TVC wiggle test. They're actually allowing the engine inside the second stage. This is the first stage engines.
Please confirm. No warnings.
No warnings. Stage 2 wiggle test.
Sweet. So the engines can wiggle. Stage 2 right now, they're testing its TVC. It's a dual-axis TVC, so it can actually wiggle in both directions. They do a little test while it's inside the inner stage. While it's stacked on the rocket, they just kind of wiggle it to make sure it's good to go. And it sounds like it's...
6:30 FSW, please start a Wireshark capture on the umbilical port PCAP server.
Complete.
Thank you.
No idea what that one is, but it's complete.
Alpha switching to internal power.
Yeah, and now that prop load is complete, we're actually going to be able to switch that out here on our screen because they are officially loaded.
6 minutes.
There we go. Prop load complete. Things are looking good. Let's see here. This is a good question from Mackie. Do they have cameras on the rocket? Yes. We're not sure how much downlink they'll have. It's a relatively low bit rate.
Alarms are opening.
but we're hoping that we'll be able to show you guys something of
All
stage
arms are
2.
open.
So you can see now the
Minus 5:30 strong back retract is beginning.
the strong back is beginning to retract. You can see that's what it was holding onto the rocket. And there it is, reclining ever so slightly.
CE, please begin dispositioning LCC gates for the T-minus 2-minute check. Any no-go at T-minus 2 minutes will be an automatic abort.
That's awesome. That's a great shot. What it
T-minus
was...
5 minutes. Strong back is secured in its launch position.
Oh, it's getting exciting. So I was saying in this shot, you can see that yellow railing. Below that, there's some concrete, and that's actually a giant pit. That's actually... That's this, the flame trench.
Yes.
So yes, we...
Please run A2S VHR cycle.
We do...
running A2S VHR cycle.
We do have flame trench cam. Trench cam.
T-minus 4 minutes and 30 seconds. RC, please pull the western range for concurrence of the T-minus 2-minute check.
In work. Can you please confirm we want to close SVHR following the cycle? Correct. Copy.
We will leave it closed.
Copy. Closing A2S VHR. GC disable the pump. Copy. Pumps off. Copy. CD1 fluids, you want us to vent the QD for stage 2?
T-minus, I need to do a FTS checks, please.
GC, please cycle
T-minus.
HV 212, 213. Closed. Copy.
T-minus 4 minutes, FTS confirm FTRs are active and range is transmitting, check channel 4.
FTRs are showing, check channel.
Good closure.
FTS, please send ARM Enable 1 command to all ESADs.
ARM Enable 1 sent.
FTS, please send ARM Enable 2 command to all ESADs.
ARM Enable 2 sent.
FTS, confirm when all ESADs are enabled.
All ESADs are armed.
FTS, safe all ARM commands.
ARM commands removed. Fly safe.
So flight termination system
Minus
is
330.
armed. They're looking to go, my friends. Yes. Look at all that. It is looking good, my friends.
At T-minus 3 minutes, fuel bleed is starting. Prop, please confirm.
This is prop visual confirmation of fuel bleed.
Thanks. There will be a go, no-go at T-minus 2 minutes. Any no-go at this time will be an automatic abort. BC, if there's a no-go, please abort the auto.
Copy.
T-minus 230.
So guys, remember, within 2 minutes, if there is any hold or any reason to abort, it does automatically abort, and they would reset. But again, they have a 2-hour launch window here tonight, so...
T-minus 2 minutes. CE perform final LCC. This is the final commit for launch. Chief Engineer.
Alpha is ready. Send it.
Launch Director.
Go for launch.
Rock.
Rock. Range green.
Range green.
We are go for launch.
They hear it. They are go for launch. Launch Director Megan Roth confirming go for launch. All right, guys. I think it's time that I stand up here and take a look. Yep, we are T-minus 1 minute, 22 seconds. Ryan's going to confirm everything is good to go. Oh, man. Luna, how's Team Luna doing? All right, T-minus 1 minute coming up here.
Launch terminal pre-press is starting. T-minus 1 minute.
One last final reminder here, everyone. This is a test flight. This is a demonstration mission of this rocket, so wish the teams the best of luck. Fingers crossed, just keep a positive attitude and cheer this thing into space. Let's see the world's first orbital tap-off cycle-powered, largest carbon composite liquid-fueled rocket.
It remains acceptable. Vehicles and thermal count state.
Copy, vehicles transition to autonomous mode. T-minus 20 seconds.
Here we go, guys.
T-minus 10 seconds. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's off the pad. We have nothing on tracking yet. There it is. Four's got it. Oh, get ready. We're going to hear it here soon. I don't think we're going to see anything here tonight. Unfortunately, it's just too foggy, but Four's got it. Oh, I hear it now. Oh man, unfortunately, it's just simply too foggy here to see anything. But we hear it very faintly. We hear it. But so far, everything is looking great on that tracking cam. We're at max Q. Yes. Oh baby, look at that! It's looking beautiful. Oh, I can still hear it. Yes, Firefly, good job, guys. This is awesome. Very faint rumble here in Vandenberg as the vehicle continues to ascend. All things looking good. We're coming up on the end of the first stage burn. So the next milestone we're going to be looking for is going to be MECO, so main engine cutoff. All four of those reavers are hopefully going to be shutting down here just in a couple seconds here. And then it'll be a stage separation and second stage engine ignition with that lightning engine. I told you guys, it's October. Launchtober, baby. This is awesome. This is great for the teams. Look at that thing just flying fantastic. You can actually see the plume expanding because of the vacuum of space. Makes it so there's the exhaust plume just has no air compressing against it. So we're coming up here. Oh, there is MECO. Main engine cutoff. That looks like second stage ignition. You can even see the booster getting pushed back from the second stage. That looks good. I don't know if we have an onboard. We do have an onboard camera. Yes, that is good. Yes, and that is Los Angeles down there in the right and the coast of California. Look at that lightning engine firing in space. Tap-off power, baby. This is some history right here. Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Tracking cameras out here with the 30th doing fantastic work. Oh man, this is just wonderful. The next thing we're going to be seeing hopefully is fairing separation. And that might have been what we just saw. You can see the two fairing halves on our screen right there. That looks like, to me, hopefully good payload fairing separation. That is just awesome. Sorry that the downlink here might not be fantastic, as we mentioned. They are working with quite a limited, but there, that tracking shot is sure showing us something. Okay, I'm going to sit down here. This is awesome. This is great, great, great work from the teams. This is huge. Again, they're milestones. I mean, they're checking stuff off that list that they wanted to see. And boy, oh boy, are they seeing it right now. This is absolutely fantastic. This just brings me so much joy to see. I mean, this is not easy. I can't wait to see our high speed of this stuff, Ryan. This is going to be fantastic. This is some history here. Man, remember, if you are along in California, if you're in Los Angeles, if you're in somewhere where it's not foggy, it's too foggy for us here. But if you are, if you're out there in California, look west. Decent chance you'll actually see it. You know, this is a kerosene engine. This is RP1 Carolox. It actually burns quite bright. decent chance you'd actually see it flying tonight. I'm excited to see, Scott Manley mentioned that from San Francisco, he was seeing clear skies up there. He's able to actually capture some of that stuff, when rockets launch out here from the West Coast. Everything's still looking good. I don't know if we're able to play mission control, but I am curious if we have any updates. It's instead of just me looking at the screen going, things are still happening, but that is the status on my end. I'm seeing what you guys are seeing, and it looks like a fantastic second stage burn with that Lightning engine. That is just awesome. And remember, of course, getting into orbit isn't just about going up. If you go up, you're going to just come right back down. If you want to go to space, you go up. You can you can cross the Kármán line at 100 kilometers in altitude, and you're just going to come right back down. But in order to stay in space, you really have to get that velocity up high enough. Imagine shooting like a cannonball. If you shoot it, even a high-powered rifle, it's going to eventually come in contact with the ground. Not only is it getting slowed down by the atmosphere.
T+6 minutes.
T+6 minutes. Yep, callouts are still good. Oh, baby, this is just awesome. Oh, man. So I realized we lost our audio probably because we did lose the camera. I mean, we might have lost it, but, it might have got unplugged or something. Oh, sorry. I'm just giddy right now. This is fantastic. Right at the top of the window, too. Right, 1201. This is awesome. This is awesome. Again, I'm already just huge congratulations to the teams here at Firefly. This is absolutely incredible. It's so fun to be here and actually able to help capture history and share it with you guys.
LOS expected in 60 seconds. Hawaii AUS expected after a 2-minute loss of telemetry between stations.
So that's because this rocket is flying away from ground stations. It's flying relative 137
T+7 minutes.
137 degree inclination. They are expecting to lose telemetry with the rocket for a brief period of time. So they're coming up on that period where they're expecting to lose telemetry for a little bit here. And then hopefully they'll pick it back up in 2 minutes with a Hawaii ground tracking station. So that is expected. That'll be, but second stage cutoff is coming up here. It's in about 15 seconds already. 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
SECO.
SECO. Now we'll have to wait. I bet we'll have to wait 2 minutes.
On C1, orbit achieved. Alpha's in the block.
Yes! Show mission control. I gotta see him. Yes!
T+8 minutes. BTRS 44 Bravo. Oh.
Yes!
LOS.
This is awesome. Guys, that is huge. That's only second time ever. Or not second time, third time, I think, ever. But that's tied for the record. I don't think any new orbital rocket has made it to orbit on their first try. Second try has been Rocket Lab, Virgin Orbit, and now Firefly. And this is a big rocket. Again, this is a really ambitious first rocket to get to orbit. This is quite a large rocket. So we're going to wait here to hear if they... so again, right now they're actually just in an elliptical orbit. They're in 300 by 185 is what they were targeting. And we'll wait to hear for sure if all that is good. Judging by the excitement from the teams, it does appear that it's likely I heard some call out, but I missed it. But we'll see. We will be able to see a flight camera here relatively soon once they get ground tracking back.
RCRF1 on CD1. Please select Y.
Here we go. They're gonna
work. Selecting Hawaii in 3, 2, 1. Art.
We should be able to see their flight camera here in a second, hopefully again. As soon as that pops up, we'll bring it to you guys. Let's see. We're going to bring up the flight camera, even though it is currently frozen, because that'll be a chance for us once that is refreshed. Once they receive ground tracking from Hawaii, that will confirm that everything's still good after SECO, after second engine cutoff. And again, I mean, at this point, it's a total win. Now they're kind of going for the bonus round. They're kind of going for that, what's that in that sport ball term, like the 1-point conversion type of thing. Like this is almost showing off at this point because they're trying to go for a 300 by 300 circularization burn. So once they're all the way on the other side of the globe, actually, 45 minutes into flight is when they're going to try relighting the Lightning engine. So and again, that's kind of like, that's big deal stuff. That is something, that's a lot more advanced than just flying totally normal. It's a good demonstration of the capabilities of the rocket, so you can put multiple payloads into, different inclinations, different orbits, or just, it's a good thing to be able to have, and it's an awesome thing to be able to demonstrate. So, oh man, I don't know, Ryan and Colin, I don't know if we have the ability. If we could start dumping the footage actually back onto the computer, we could probably try to replace some of that.
Yeah, this is LD on CD1. RC, feel free to make an announcement along those lines if you wish.
Hawaii sees the vehicle at this moment and is looking for a connection still. Stand by for bitrate pickup.
Copy that.
So as you heard, Hawaii sees the vehicle. They're working on just having it connect to that ground tracking station. But still, I mean, honestly, again, even at this point, if say the worst happens, they don't, if nothing ever comes out of it from this point on, that is still absolutely a success today. Just getting through all of those huge milestones, from obviously liftoff to maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's something that technically they did have maximum aerodynamic pressure on their last flight, but it wasn't the expected because the vehicle was underperforming. So therefore, at some point it did hit its maximum aerodynamic pressure. But this time they clearly punched straight through maximum aerodynamic pressure. And this vehicle doesn't really throttle down through that, so it just literally punches through the sky, which is impressive. And then they had stage separation, great, beautiful stage separation. And then they went through and got to second stage ignition. That was fantastic. We could see that even in the tracking camera. You could see it blowing the first stage back. Wonderful tracking with the 30th out here. Just fantastic job from the range. And then, then from there, we saw a good second stage burn all the way until SECO, second engine cutoff. Second stage cutoff, I mean, that is just absolutely fantastic. So now we're waiting to see if there is downlink again, if it's able to reestablish a downlink with the Hawaii tracking stations. And again, remember, guys, this is a big rocket. This is no small feat to be able to launch a rocket this big. So, again, huge shout, for your first vehicle. This is an ambitious rocket to be flying for your first time. I'm just absolutely blown away. Let's see here. Let's get confirmation. Texting my friends at Firefly quick, just being like, guys, this is insane. I am just absolutely floored. Sorry, I know a little bit unprofessional on my end, but that's what you get when you hire just an enthusiast out here just to help share some feeds with you guys. I mean, we are working on the replay. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to be able to dump any camera that's still on our network. We'll see if any of them lost. We're actually going to be able to dump some of the footage on them, and then we'll be able to bring them into the truck. It might take us a second here, but we will be able to replay some of them live on air and even play them in slow-mo. So we'll be able to see some of those views that we weren't able to see in real time. So, man, this is awesome. Do you guys have them for sure? Do we have confirmation? Are we actually able to download from the Zcams? Sweet. Okay, yeah, we are actively able. That means we didn't lose, hopefully, too many of them. They are actively downloading the footage from the launch. We'll be able to replay those here in a second.
OSIM, what channel?
So meanwhile, let's go ahead and answer a few more of you guys' questions. And let me give a quick shout out here to some of the people here. I mean, this is just this is the time I'm informally I'm working as a a representative.
Can you move your mic closer, please?
With
I really
Firefly.
struggle to hear you.
There is Kim. Yes. Hold on here. Cut to the wide cam.
I need to switch the lights to.
Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you, Kim.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
So my team is working through
Oh,
what's
that's so
remaining
cool.
on the
Look,
ground channel, and we're just verifying
huge
pressures right now, and then I'll
Firefly.
be back with you.
we got some champagne out here. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. Oh, that is awesome. So again, remember, their mission isn't even done, but the milestones they reach is considered by all means a huge success. That is something that they were dreaming of, and to be able to do that again on the second launch attempt is huge. So let's get to just some thank yous here. I'll keep the bottle of champagne out here and do some thank yous. Let's see here. So I need to thank our team here. I mean, we have a team that's so far. I think we might want to cut the comms actually, and we can pull up just a tight camera. We are again awaiting downlink. So hopefully.
Okay, this is LD on Countdown Net.
Let's listen in
for
actually.
Everybody watching and waiting for data. We flew over Hawaii. KSAT was not able to get our telemetry over Hawaii. We suspect it's a KSAT problem, not a vehicle problem, but it's that's where we are right now. We have passed Hawaii now. Now we're in the dead time between Hawaii and Mauritius. Once we attempt to pick up there, hopefully we'll get data from the second stage at Mauritius. So stay tuned on that one.
Mauritius AOS is expected at 4729.
Copy that. Thank you.
This is GNC on CD1. Per the tracking table update performed at SECO, I get no Mauritius pass. That's not surprising given the low elevation pass that we were expecting nominally.
Copy
Will we
that.
pick that up at Heart B stock? I am expecting a Heart B stock pass at 0750.
0750. Copy that.
Copy, GNC.
Sorry, I realized I wasn't talking on it. So they were talking there about the ground tracking stations.
Can we cycle?
And yeah, so
552 Alpha. Bravo.
Sorry, I'm still hearing them in my ears. They were talking about the ground tracking stations, and what's happening here is the rocket's flying west. It's flying over over Africa, and they're trying to determine which stations will be able to pick up the vehicle. And remember, just like when I don't know if you guys have ever seen Starlink or the ISS fly over, sometimes it's really low on the horizon. So it sounds like the station they're trying to track in Africa.
Standing by.
Is likely going to be very, very low on the horizon. They don't think it'll have a full
On
lock
CD1,
on that.
I lost state data. I thought it would latch.
So all right, I think. Let's go ahead and answer a few of you guys' questions.
I seem to have lost it. Would we get?
All right, so yeah, like I said, I owe a huge thank you to just everyone here again at Firefly just for making all this possible. We're going to stay on air here until we hear all the updates and give you guys everything we know about the status of the vehicle at this point. But again, demonstration missions, this is huge. Just to be able to even get the vehicle through that many portions of flight, that is absolutely incredible. So yeah, let's see. So no, it does overfly Africa at some point, if I remember right, but does it not fly over Africa? Sorry. I thought at some point it flies over Africa. Maybe I'm incorrect. I just know at some point there's I thought that the second stage burn was supposed to be over Africa, but maybe I am incorrect. Yeah, okay, let's keep going here. So yeah, thank you to our teams here, just everyone on site here that made this possible, between the Firefly teams, also Allie and Colin and Ryan Chalinsky with Cosmic Perspective for helping make all of this possible. But behind the scenes, we have a lot of people, including Colton from Tomorrow, who helped make all this overlay possible, and the chat system that you guys see. But also Ben Steinman, who helped with all of the networking stuff constantly. And Andrew Taylor, even though he's not here, was still helping out a ton over the air. We also had Mary Liz Bender from Cosmic Perspective as well, doing a ton of programming. There's just so many people here. But also Space Launch Delta 30 for the support on the range. It's just, this stuff wouldn't be possible without them. But yeah, there's and also we should give a shout out to the brand new CEO that took over just a little more than a month ago, Bill Weber. Congratulations on the new position with an exciting new rocket company. So yeah, all right, we'll keep listening here, guys, and hopefully we'll learn all about everything. And I'm gonna hear something here from the producer. Maybe we are coming up on our replays soon. Maybe that's what that is. Let's keep answering some questions here. Let's see. This is from Cynic in Chief saying, Team Angry Astronaut reporting in. Pointy end up, flaming end down, and no Starliner or hydrogen leaks detected. Godspeed, Firefly Alpha. Yeah, it's fun reading these comments now, after we've had it. Okay, so this is from Scott Manley saying it'll get to Australia or South Asia first. That makes sense. Yeah. Sorry. Let's keep going here. We have Penny Watson. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Oh, this is so cool. From Reggie Penguin. Shout out to Mommy Dave in Mission Control. Much love from your kids. That is really cool. That's awesome. I love that there's families tuning in, seeing the vehicle that their loved ones have potentially been working on for a year at this point, or, if they've been with the company since the beginning, years working on these rockets. So cool that it's, that it happened. I mean, that is history. So I just love it. It's so cool. I'm trying to read through some of your guys' comments going back here. Yeah, we have a handful of new memberships. Thank you guys for becoming members. We do some exclusive live streams with members and Patreon supporters. So Tyler Go and Tanda Madison, and it's not over the top, but close. Let's see here. This is from Pizak asking, thank you for your 17 months of membership. How many launches have I seen, and what was the first? So I'm into a little beyond 2 dozen at this point, I believe. But the first one I ever photographed. I photographed one without seeing it with my own eyes, twice actually. The very first one was CRS-3. I left a camera on the pad and had to go home, watched it from home in Iowa in 2014. CRS-3 was something like April something 2014. It was the first Falcon 9 with landing legs. It was the first rocket that I ever saw on the launch pad. So yeah, that was really fun to see. The other one after that I was able to see was I was out here. The second launch that I ever technically saw and technically heard was a Delta II carrying OCO2 out here in Vandenberg. That was also the summer of 2014. But the first one that I really, truly got to see in all of its glory was actually the first time that the Orion capsule flew, and it was on a Delta IV Heavy in Florida, and that was at the end of 2014. I believe it was like December 6, 2014 or something like that. Maybe December 3rd. I think December 6th, though. And that was on a Delta IV Heavy, and it launched it out onto a pretty highly elliptical orbit, and in order to help it come back in at really high speeds to test out its heat shield and reentry systems. It was an awesome, awesome launch. That was still... I definitely have like a soft spot and a big place in my heart for the Delta IV Heavy. So, yeah. Let's see. This is a good question. Gasman, will you be able to see the exhaust from Phoenix? Most likely not, since it flew west. If it was flying, more due south, like some of the launches, I know sometimes Phoenix can see those, but I'm guessing you wouldn't have been able to catch this one. I am excited to see if anyone sees anything on Twitter, maybe in Discord, if you guys see anything on Twitter, views of the, hey, there we go, possible in our Discord channel. I'll actually try to pull this up here on my computer. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up. 1 second, and we'll actually be able to look at what it was like. Hang on. Maybe that's not going to work like that. Maybe that doesn't work. But if somebody's got a like a tweet, I'm trying to pull up this video here. TLM guy has a video in our Discord. and so it is possible. But unfortunately, oh, here we go. Michael Baylor has a beautiful image that I'm going to share with you guys from NASA spaceflight. This is fantastic. So even out here on the Space Coast, or not the Space Coast, this is the other Space Coast, Space Coast 2. This is from Michael Baylor, our friends at NASA spaceflight. Look at this image. Wow. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. I did not think it was going to be that clear anywhere here, but there they are. That is just really, really great. Oh, that's cool. Michael even says one of the greatest launches that I have witnessed, and Michael's seen a handful of launches. That is just fantastic. Definitely check out. Let's keep looking for more. My Discord channel is feeding me with a handful of awesome stuff, so I'll keep my eyes open here and see if we pull up any other good shots. Yeah, don't forget, it's a relatively smaller rocket, and because it was flying more west, more retrograde than most launches out of Vandenberg here, yeah. Matthew Cable, send it. It got sent. It absolutely got sent. Carlos was watching through ISS Live now. That is awesome. Thank you also to Kim for becoming a member. Just trying to kind of fire through a handful of you guys as we wait updates. Let's see. Rockets. How do they work? Magnets, my friend. Magnets, how do they work? I don't know if you guys know. Hopefully you know what that means. That's an old old thing. Oh, man. This is from, I'm assuming that says Llama's Squishy or Yama's Squishy. That was absolutely the most beautiful shot of MECO and stage separation I've ever seen. It was. I mean, huge shout out to the teams again here at the 30th for having that. That was just absolutely fantastic. Oh, awesome. So let's see. Let me try to pull this up here. Trevor's reminding us that the next burn is at T plus 53 minutes. An acquisition of signal at the next ground station is also at T 53 minutes. Can the second stage start the burn autonomously? I have no idea, honestly. I'll see if I can get an answer on that. I will send that off, and we'll see if we can get an answer. Let's see. All right. We also have Konana. Thank you so much for your 13 months of membership. Oh, that's so cool from Alpha Films in New Zealand. Thank you for all your content over the past few years. It's kept my passion for space alive. Go Firefly. Awesome. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. I'm excited. This was a big one for me to get off the ground because it means that I can hopefully get back to making some videos here in between this rocket launch and then the next Artemis attempts. Hopefully there's a decent amount of time there where I can kind of just sit and edit some videos, get some stuff done. That's going to be awesome. So, yeah. Let's see. Yes, James Neelan wants to know what was used to track the first and second stage. So they have really large, huge glass, basically telescopes that run with an infrared camera. And then they're able to see through the clouds. Because from here, as you can tell, again, from Michael Baylor's shot, go ahead and pull that up again for me, Colin. That's helps really show that off here. If you show my computer here, you'll notice that the clouds there, obviously where I am, I'm basically right smack with those clouds overhead. I literally couldn't even see the glow. I don't know if Ryan caught anything with his eyes or with his camera here, but I couldn't really see anything from here. It's just too overcast. But as you can tell there, so that's why those tracking cameras have infrared, because they can literally shoot through clouds, which is just absolutely amazing. So, yeah. This is from Greg Smith. Hello from Oregon. Fun seeing you here in the time zone, and glad the fog didn't douse the Firefly. I'm super stoked about that too. Oh, we also have, here's another image here as well. Go ahead and give me 1 second. I gotta do this. It's really funny. You can't, unless someone knows, when you're in full screen in Chrome, where you're completely full screen, for the best of my ability, I don't think you can type in a URL. Believe it or not. Yeah, I Command L and just, can you paste? It doesn't let you do it. Believe it or not. It's really weird. Hang on, we're pulling up a A little guy here from our friend Jack Beyer, also with NASA Spaceflight, an incredible image. I'm waiting for it to load. Hang on. Come on, Twitter. Give me the goods. There we go. Jack Beyer looks like he was at a high elevation point. Probably there's some mountains nearby here. Look at that. You can see the cloud. That is just what a shot. Man, you can just see the clouds sitting in the right here, just the marine layer. So we are just barely inside of what looks like a really thin layer of clouds, because look at all the stars. You can even see the Milky Way galaxy in this image. And then you can see, that is fantastic. Great work, Jack. That is so cool. That is just awesome. Sorry, the photography nerd in me is just geeking out of this stuff. This is fantastic. Let's keep going here. This is that is awesome. Flo in our Discord. I really like that shot. All right, let's keep going here. Let me answer this. 13 or hi ADA team. Thanks for the coverage earlier in the launch. You didn't know what Wireshark PCAP stuff mentioned meant. All it likely is they were logging network communication between the ship and ground equipment. Very cool. Yeah, thank you. That's stuff that I have no idea what that means. That's well outside of anything. So thank you very much, 13, for letting us know that's likely network communication. Very cool. From Holly Dale saying, go Firefly, support from Austin, Texas. Yes, absolutely. Hopefully the teams back at Austin are also celebrating like crazy tonight. I know not all of them can be here, so yeah. Let's see here. Here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to actually... Oh, here we go. Thank you so much, Penny Watson. Support Everyday Astronaut, the most dedicated channel and most informative. I don't think I'm the most dedicated or the most informative. I don't think I informed that much, honestly. Since we're a pretty small team here, I kind of just have to pick and choose what types of things I work on. And frankly, this was one of the last ones that, last launches that I'll probably just try to really, really cover no matter what. I think Luna is more or less going to be dedicated for the most part down at Starbase and occasionally going to Florida. But this is one that I had to try out. The opportunity to put our cameras on a launch pad. I just had to go for it. But it's stressful, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's really stressful trying to handle different schedules between, hey, you have to have the van in California, you have to have it in Florida, you have to have it in Texas. Like, it's just too much. I don't want to be a professional van driver / live. I really don't want to be doing live streams like this all the time, just because it's inefficient. It's really hard for me to make content that I want to keep making while doing this. But this opportunity was just too awesome to pass up. I really hope that Ryan with Cosmic Perspective is happy with the images that we got, because we had some awesome vantage points. I can't wait to see the shot of the umbilicals. That's going to be one for ages. Firefly employee stealing the champagne that is sitting out here still. Man, those thieves. Those naughty, naughty thieves. Well, guys, here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to take just a little break here myself, and until we wait updates, and I'm going to check in on the footage and see how that's coming. But so stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to do some replays for you guys in slow motion, bring those up on air. Hopefully we can point out some of the cool things that happened during launch. But yeah, I'm excited just to be able to hang out for a little bit here with you guys, and hopefully we'll await some new updates. So I guess, what are we going to show, though? Maybe I can't take a break. Do we have the pad just hanging out? I guess we'll show that. I'm going to take a little break, though. You guys are going to be left with a launch pad here. Maybe we'll put up a little message that's like, vehicle made it. Vehicle is in orbit, awaiting further confirmation. But yeah. Here's a real quick update. This is an update. So in Discord, Trevor was asking if the burn is at 53 minutes and the acquisition of signal is also at around 53 minutes, can the second stage start the burn autonomously? Yes, the second stage burn, is autonomous. So it does not require any ground tracking to be able to do that. Obviously, ground tracking will allow them to confirm a good orbit and that everything's nominal. But yes, it is that is fun to see. Sorry, I'm distracted by myself right now. It's just fun seeing the empty pad. But yes, the second stage burn to circularize into that 300 by 300 kilometer orbit. Yes, that is something that is done completely autonomously. So All right, I'm going to take a quick little break here. We'll leave you guys with a shot of the pad until we get some replays back from you, and then hopefully we get some updates on the status of how the vehicle is doing and where it's at. So, yeah, I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So yeah, everything's fantastic now. We got some great news. It sounds like we actually have onboard cameras back because they do have acquisition of signal. Look at that. So we're hoping actually this lines up, this acquisition of signal does line up approximately with when they're expecting to do the second engine relight. 7 minutes to relight, so actually I think we'll lose that camera. Go ahead and keep that camera up. Yeah, you can keep that up and just put me up in the corner. That'll be totally fine. Perfect. Okay, cool. So we'll actually see, as long as this stays live. I mean, that is fantastic. That is so, I mean, I just can't believe it still. But we do also have some good news here. Once this signal drops, which it may have now, actually, now that we cursed it, it does look quite frozen at this time. They are expecting only, I think, 2 minutes of signal there with that ground tracking station. But the fact that they were able to get that feed, that's fantastic. Man. So, you know, they were saying that SECO 2 is actually in 7 minutes from when I called it, so 6 minutes from now or so. Is that correct? Yep. So, and I know in Discord we're talking about 2 minutes or so, so it's more like 6. All right. So, while we wait for that, actually, because I don't think we're going to get the tracking back for now, we actually do have something to show you guys. I've actually got some of the replay footage here of the launch, and of course, oh baby, that's on my mic. I'm hearing that, or on my computer. This will look so much cooler when Ryan Chelinsky makes this look really, really, really good in an upcoming video, I'm sure. But this is going to be in 60 frames a second, so this is in half-speed replay. Look at those umbilicals breaking away. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that is awesome. Okay, that is fantastic. That makes me so happy. Okay, let's pull up we have 2 shots that we were able to download first. It did take a little bit longer than we expected, but give me just 1 second here. I'm actually the one queuing this up because we had a funny little workaround here on how to do this. But hopefully, give me 1 sec. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I saw a little preview of it. I'm going to let it play here. So this is that engine, that shot here where you can see the flame trench here. And what's going to be awesome, I don't know how far away I let it play. This is suspenseful. There we go. There's engine ignition. You see that green flash from the T-tab. Look at that exhaust coming through the flame trench and ignition. That is, yes. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that's got to feel good. Can you imagine building this rocket and then seeing footage like this? Just tremendous. I want to keep letting this play for a little bit just so we can watch the ground and the glow going through the clouds. That is so cool. I got to replay that one again. Sorry, that one's just too awesome. Oh, man. Yeah, so again, the green flash, that's the T-tab ignition fluid right there. Then you have engine ignition. You can see that coming through the flame trench. Oh, that is just fantastic. The cool thing, too, is Ryan, Cosmic Perspective, is going to have some amazing audio from this. He was recording with floating point audio, so it's almost like the equivalent of raw photos, where it basically has the entire dynamic range of a microphone and like the entire spectrum. It's cool. You literally can't even gain the mics. You just simply have all of it. It's almost like magic. Look at that. Are we able to put on comms again?
All data from the relight burn looked pretty nominal on my live plots.
They did a relight.
Stand by for payload deployment. How soon?
It'll be out of view.
Out of view? Damn. Okay.
I'm watching. If I see anything, I'll holler.
And GNC, is this the positioning maneuver for the deployment, or is this uncontrolled?
On CD1, we should be reorienting for payload deployment.
Okay, that's probably what this is then.
With RCS?
Affirmative.
Are we seeing that?
Affirmative.
So they are seeing good RCS control. In other words, it's not just like tumbling out of control. This is controlled.
Congrats, guys.
They are now going for payload deploy. They're expecting loss of signal here, which probably right there. So now we'll have to wait a little bit further for confirmation of payload deployment. Oh, look at that shot, though. That is looking up from the top. That's where the payload fairing used to be. Now it's showing a handful of the small sats and the CubeSats right there on the payload dispenser. I really hope that they keep the tracking here so we can see the deployment. This is fantastic video. I didn't expect that the on-camera stuff would look this good. This is some of my favorite. I should stop ruining it with me yabbing over top of it. This is incredible. Hey, actually pull my face from this feed for just a minute so everybody can get a clean shot here, at least for... This is so cool. Yeah, screen grab this, my friends.
Stock LOS expected the next 60 seconds.
60 seconds, loss of signal. Screen grab this. Put this all over Twitter and Instagram. This is fantastic. Oh, and then we are starting to freeze again. They're expecting a loss of signal from those ground tracking stations. But that is absolutely amazing.
Acquisition AOS at Vandenberg is expected in approximately 28 minutes.
Oh. The next acquisition of signals
in GNC when you have a second
here at Vandenberg.
Yeah.
So that's like about an hour and 20-ish. Oh man. All right. Well, guys, that is like just the coolest. I'm at a loss for words, and I have to apologize to you guys too. By the way, if you watched the thing, I'm not gonna lie, I did not at all like prepare this. Again, if you can't tell, this is a pretty informal relationship here with me and Firefly. They're not telling me what to say. They're basically like, here, we're gonna let you stream this. I've never been the official launch commentator that you guys rely on. I was not prepared for that. I literally was sitting there, I'm like, it launched, and then I realized we didn't have the comms in audio, and I'm sitting there going like, oh, I have to tell you what's going on. Like, I have no idea, and I was flying blind. That was, I just was not ready for that. I'm not going to lie, and I'm glad you guys stuck around with us for what turned out to be some historic launch here, some incredible footage. Yeah, but that's the beauty of this. I mean, how cool is it that we live in a day and age where just a guy like me, somebody just totally a normal person that runs a YouTube channel is allowed to give you guys this kind of access and is allowed this kind of access from a company. That is just, they're not telling me they don't tell me what to say or what to do, which is crazy on like the amount of transparency that Firefly has given us and just the access. That's not normal. I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen a rocket company be like, yeah, no, just here you go. Here's some feeds. We believe in our company. We believe in what we're working on and just have fun. And I am having a great time. I mean, again, I apologize that I really just wasn't even prepared. Like, oh yeah, I am normally, I sit back and kind of listen. I'm like, okay, somebody else gets to tell us what's going on and maybe I'll add a little bit of spice on top of that. And here I am like, oh yeah, I'm the person to do that. So very, very cool. I am just absolutely beside myself. So again, we're hoping that the next acquisition of signal that will give good confirmation of payload deployment will be at T plus about 90 minutes, I think, on the clock, or less than that. I think it's about 80 minutes. We're probably coming up on just over a little more than 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I got to say real quick thanks to a few more people like MCHHOJ for becoming a member, and same with Jared. And also from Danny saying, congrats to Firefly and O'Cairns in. O'Karen, I don't think congrats to O'Karen's in because now they're going to probably see a lot of people leaving for a little bit of time. So huge congratulations to Firefly, though, for sure. Thank you so much to Axilium. Yeah, this is shallow, jealous of that mission control reaction. I want to see SpaceX team when they launch Orbital. I love, again, that's something that I'm so excited for. Is it's so cool to me that the teams at Firefly allowed us to show mission control and all that stuff. I mean, that is just awesome. Yeah, that is just I'm so excited. So yeah, we're gonna probably download a few. Hopefully, we have 2 more, maybe even 3 more cameras that we're working on downloading the footage and transferring so that we can play it. But I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Oh, I appreciate this. This is from Rod saying, "You're a lot more fun than the running advertisement most organizations use as commentary." And that's the thing. Like, yeah, I obviously, I let you guys know that they're hiring because they have told me multiple times, "Yeah, we're hiring. You know anybody?" But they literally told me like nothing of what to say, which is almost like I realized in the moment, like I'm just hanging out and I now have to figure I don't know. And I love that. And I hope that I'm sorry if it was a bit amateur at some point, but what a dream. I mean, here we are. We've been worrying so much about making sure you guys have a good live stream, a good feed, a good, working so far on the video end of things. But yeah, that is just awesome. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break. We'll leave you guys with the launch pad again as the teams are going through, probably getting ready to reset. They do have another rocket they're working on launching, and as early as about a month, that rocket is finishing testing. I mean, they're ready to just start cranking these things out now. I'm sure the teams are feeling quite good, assuming that everything's looking good. Then, depending on what kind of tweaks they need to make this a more reliable and customer-ready vehicle. I mean, that is just, I don't know. I'm just beside myself. Brian Clausen again. Thank you so much, Brian. Good to hear from you. As always, you rock, and so do all the Everyday Astronaut crew. Thanks for bringing the science of rockets to all of us. Yeah, thank you so much. That really, really means a lot. Do we have a shot of the pad still while we can get a few more? Oh, I hear it. All right, yeah. I'll leave you guys with a shot of the pad, and I'll be right back with a little bit more fantastic footage. All right, everybody, welcome back. Things are still fantastic. We're just a couple minutes away, a few minutes away, 3 or so minutes away from hopefully having another acquisition of signal as the rocket actually passes over Vandenberg, which is really cool. Vandenberg will reestablish a link, which makes sense. You know, orbits are about 90 minutes or so. So, yeah, I wanted to show you guys this. We do have a few more things in the meantime. We have a couple more slow-mos to show you guys. And again, I can't wait for Ryan Chalinsky with Cosmic Perspective. Is sure probably got some awesome stuff he's going to do with this footage. But check this out. We got a little bit more slow-mo here from you. There's that green flash from the T-Teb. Look at that, the plume on the left from the trench. But this is crazy. And here comes the debris. Oh, no. Our poor camera. How awesome is that? And then you can see the rainbirds still pouring out and getting a water deluge going there. Yeah, that's that shot. I got another one here for you guys. Just give me 1 second to switch it over. But these shots are going to be so cool. Oh, man. Again, once we get audio from these, because we do have some awesome audio from this. This is going to be some really, really fantastic images. So here's another shot here. This is the engine ignition. There we go. And liftoff again in half. Look at it raining. I wonder if that was liquid oxygen, like literally raining out of the quick disconnect. Then just chunks of debris. Our poor cameras. Worth it. Worth it. Yeah, how awesome is that guy? Ryan makes it look all fantastic as he always does. Make sure you guys are definitely following Cosmic Perspective. Cosmic Perspective on YouTube and Patreon. The thing we're waiting on now, guys, we're actually coming up here again on reacquisition of signal. And we will see here if we actually get some video feeds again. We're coming up on about 1 minute. Maybe let's go ahead and let's pull up the, even if it's just a still frame for now from the last drop signal. Let's go ahead and watch that because we can all see it come together. Remember, this is a freeze frame from this is the last image the spacecraft sent from the previous downlink. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see that get fed back in here any minute, and with a reacquisition of signal as it comes over Vandenberg Space Force Base, we should actually be able to get reestablished link. And hopefully, the cool thing is, I believe when it comes back, it should have done payload deployment, and we should get confirmation of good payload deployment confirmation, and should see the door open on that CubeSat deployer there on the left, and perhaps something on that one there too, kind of in the middle. But we will have to wait and see. Again, that would be absolutely huge. I mean, that is that's getting up there with, you know, the everybody. I mean, that's what you want. That's the full, you know, mission checkoff 100%. Okay, so they're getting acquisition of signal, so the video downlink will take a decent amount of time to reestablish. But it does sound like they have acquisition of signal or are getting some pings. Stand by for more. And meanwhile, I gotta say we got Marcus House in the house. Marcus House in the house. It's been really amazing. Thanks for replaying those. And hey there, everybody. Of course, you guys are probably familiar with Marcus House. Amazing YouTuber. Down in Australia. Flew right over Australia. Hey, by the way, people were like, no, it doesn't fly over Africa. It did fly over Africa, and that's actually where we got that biggest downlink from, was the African. Oh, comms confirmed 3 payloads were deployed. Oh, man, that is fantastic news. That's incredible. That's no easy feat. Oh, yes. Yes. So yes, it is night here, as you can tell, and it's literally flying back over us, but you can see a little bit of the coastline there. This is, again, live video feed as it's in orbit. We don't have confirmation yet on the exact orbit that they ended up achieving, but we do know that it did achieve orbit, because here we are with signal over Vandenberg Space Force Base again. The Earth spinning below it into the darkness. You can see city lights down there. Ooh, there we go. There we go. That is video feed of the payload adapter. Now, obviously, they have a light there. You can see a fun thing to keep in mind too is, you know, this vehicle has liquid oxygen on board, so there's a lot of ice. And you see this on many rockets and many systems. You'll see things. Oh, you can kind of see the. Wait, is that? Wait. Is it already flying back over? Is this live? I'm so confused with what we're seeing here. Or is that just that old... Oh, that's the second stage. This... So the vehicle's working on downloading imagery as well. So there could be some playback here. So this does not appear to be real time anymore. But that's something that the teams are working on, is actually getting video down. But yeah, this is just, man, this is huge, guys. This is amazing. Huge, huge, huge. So yeah, the video is now currently in playback mode. We do have confirmation of that. So the vehicle's trying to download the video link when they have a good video link to get hopefully video. They'll hopefully have some good confirmation of payload deploy with video. They do have confirmation that 3 payloads were deployed successfully. And here is, oh, this is the engine relight. And believe it or not, it was only a less than a 1 second burn. So that was a successful relight. Oh, that is cool. So that's because it was in a, there was not ground link to be able to do that live. They were able to replay that now, though, showing good, successful engine relight. That's so cool. They have video of it. And then, believe it or not, this little motion here, it was actually positioning itself for payload deployment already using its RCS, and they had that confirmation that it was indeed under control of RCS. That's huge. That's just absolutely amazing. That's awesome. This is still additional playback. I should point out too, a lot of people are probably going to notice that the edge of the Earth there, you'll notice that it does get distorted because, of course, the lenses they're using, when you have a tight space like this and you're trying to cover as much, you can literally see the edges of the spacecraft off either side because it is and you can see the barrel distortion in the lens. It is a very fisheye lens. So now you're going to see it goes, the closer it is to the frames of the more barrel distortion there is on a GoPro-like video. But this is so wide, this is such a wide angle view that I believe as the craft continues to rotate, you actually can see both sides of the Earth because it's just that wide. Even though it's in a relatively low orbit, I believe it's only about 300 by 300-ish is what they were targeting. That is a beautiful view. Yeah, cut my face out of this one again. I got to see this in full. And if you guys have a way to record video on your phones or on YouTube or something, just take this in. This is some phenomenal playback. I just absolutely love that. That is amazing. Yeah, again, wide enough angle lens, even though you're only at 300 kilometers, you're able to see almost the entire Earth encompassed. Oh, there's payload deployment. That's video playback of payload deployment. Did you see it just going off there? That is fantastic. This is either back to live or maybe another payload deployment video. And this is actually live video again. This is, wow. It's hard to see there, but you can see kind of a very bit of the edge of the screen. It's kind of hard to see there, but you can make out the edges there just ever so slightly because it is night. It's coming back over Vandenberg here, so just absolutely fantastic, guys. I am blown away. So they're hoping to be able to download all the additional payload deployments on the next pass. But for us here, we're going to probably start wrapping up here soon because we now have good confirmation of every major milestone that a rocket company could ask for. I mean, that is huge. I can't believe I'm blown away, guys. Just everyone in chat, please just say a sincere congratulations to Firefly. I mean, that's big. And again, the scale of this rocket to be able to do something like this on their second launch attempt is monumental. So to all the hard work out there, to the teams at Firefly and my friends now, the people that have put this vehicle together and programmed it and did all the trajectories and everything. It's just a huge amount of work and planning has gone into something like this. You know, someone came out here when we were off air and just like, yeah, well, this is years in the making. Can you imagine working on something for years and years and years and finally seeing your baby actually fly? That's huge. So we're so excited. Yeah, that is a check of all checklists there to be able to validate so many systems on a rocket like this. That is huge. So huge congratulations. We're going to work on wrapping it up here on our end. I want to say thank you again to all of you for watching. You know, this is we're only afforded this opportunity to do this with you guys because because you guys are here to watch with us. So thank you so much for those of you that are here with us and the super chats and all the people commenting saying, things like, 100% congratulations, successful flight from Allison Cornish. And again, Marcus House. It's absolutely our pleasure. Neuropilot, congrats Firefly. This is big stuff. So again, thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you to Firefly for allowing us to do this. A huge thank you to the teams here on our Everyday Astronaut team. Again, I listed a handful of them a second ago, but there's just so many people that are making this stream possible nowadays. It's not just me in a bedroom in my house anymore. It is a full-blown production. We got Allie and Colin and Ryan Chlinsky with Cosmic Perspective. The ongoing partnership with my friends there just means the world to me, and just even the work that, all these shots that you see at the pad, that's Ryan setting up these cameras individually one at a time, and just beautiful, just absolutely amazing imagery. I cannot wait to see what Ryan does with this. It's going to be fantastic. So, yeah, and of course, again, thank you to Andrew Taylor and Ben Steinman, who were helping from afar on this one, but helping a lot behind the scenes. And, of course, Mary Liz Bender from Cosmic Perspective as well for continuing to help with some of the on-screen things. And Colton Covington with Tomorrow for helping so much with the Tomorrow chat system that you guys see us put up on screen. Absolutely amazing. But Space Launch Delta 30. And, yeah, again, everyone at Firefly, including their new CEO, Bill Weber, for entrusting us to help share what you guys are working on. That's the whole beauty of this. We're not like, even though we're the official live stream of Firefly, again, they just let us hang out and share everything that we had with you guys. And that is like the coolest thing that has happened to me. So thank you so much. If you guys want to support what we do here and help us continue to do what we do, Patreon support at patreon.com/everydayastronaut, or YouTube members. As soon as I get home and get a chance to take a deep breath, catch up on some sleep, I'll definitely be doing an updated YouTube live stream as well. But we're also going to be, so that'll be really fun. We also have a few more things coming up that are going to be exciting, including, obviously we're going to be going out for Artemis 1 again in November, November 12th. But we're going to have some cool Starship stuff coming up around the corner as Booster 7 gets ready to head back to the pad. It's going to be an exciting time it's just going to be an exciting time to be a spaceflight fan. Are you kidding me? Like, we just saw a brand new rocket make it to orbit, deploy payloads. We're going to see the most powerful rocket that NASA's ever built, and likely the most powerful rocket when it reaches orbit, hopefully, or racing with Starship's first orbital launch attempt. And then we have Relativity around the corner. We've got, we got Rocket Lab launching out of Wallops this year, hopefully. We have Vulcan right around the corner. There's just too many to list. ABL is working on a launch any time. I mean, it's just, I can't even keep track of it all. It's a really exciting time. So be sure you stay tuned, not only to hear, but all the other content creators out there keeping everyone up to date. And also, if you want a fun way to support what we do, head on over to everydayastronaut.com/shop. and shop around. This is a good way just to show your support, get some cool merchandise for yourself, including what I've been relying on the last like 4 weeks since I've been like out here. And then I was in Montana for a little bit, riding in fighter jets with the Polaris Dawn crew, which is the coolest thing ever. That's a video I'm working on right now. But I only packed this one hoodie, and come to find out it saved my butt, because otherwise I would have frozen to death. So yeah, if you guys want to get the Space Shuttle ejection suit hoodie or lots of other really cool stuff, because don't forget, now we do have really cool things like dress wear. So if you are somebody that needs to wear button-ups for work, you can find it all at everydayastronaut.com/shop. Fun way to show your support for the show. But my friends, I have some. Is Ticker Tape Parade actually loaded up? Okay, so guess what? So we realized that we didn't have. So we have 2 outros. We kind of have an outro using the new song that I have on iTunes and Spotify and stuff called Translunar Coast, that we kind of use as like a non-launch. Or if a launch or a scrub, if it doesn't make it successfully, we play Translunar Coast, and if it's successful, we play Ticker Tape Parade, which is the classic that we always would end live streams with. And guess what? Today, I can announce that we can play Ticker Tape Parade in its full glory, because today was a huge success. So again, just the biggest thank you to Firefly, and congratulations. I hope you're out celebrating. It's going to be amazing. So let's, I think it's time to sign off. That's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Goodbye, everybody.